I'm gonna die.
No, you're not. You're Australian. We're impossible to kill.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Battlefield 1 hard difficulty walkthrough. This is the third sequence of War Story 1, and it's called Breakdown. So this is another one of those moments where the game kind of just lets you do your own thing. And I've mentioned that you don't do much shooting in this game, and it's kind of true. The game never really puts you in a sequence where it's necessary that you shoot a lot. You can if you choose to, by making a lot of noise and ringing the dinner bell, so to speak, but you don't have to, and this is a great example of why. We have to pick up 4 things, and I'm going to try and do it with the least amount of resistance. I make a mistake, though, which I'm blaming the game for, and this is a mistake too, so I try to kill him. He sees me, I don't get the instant kill, I get the slap, and then his buddies come, so I put them down with this awesome-looking tubular gun. Now they're dead. There's like 1 or 2 dudes left. He's going to get blitzed, and then it's going to subside, because one of the things that the game does really well is it wants to really commit to this idea that when you kick off an encounter, it doesn't alert everybody and put you in a state where it's just war for the rest of the mission. So now, everything is relative to where you are, and you can have skirmishes in all different parts of a village without the entire village knowing you're there. And it does add to the realism, and it does add to the dynamic nature of the game, but it also means you don't have to do that much shooting, and if you're clever, you can do almost no shooting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a U-turn through this village, doing the objectives, saving the one that's closest to home for last so I can get it on the way out. Everything's going fine up until I get to where a sniper is, and I know the sniper's there because he caused havoc on me on my practice run. So I wanted to kill him, and I thought the best way to kill him would be to stab him in the back, because I thought, give him some vengeance for being a dick the last time I did this. What a great piece of, humble pie for him. Didn't work as expected, because inside these lighthouses, there's a ladder to get to the final tier, and then there's a lip to get from the ladder to the tier where the sniper is. So when you come off of ladders on this game, you make noise. And then when you try and connect with ledges to mantle and attack enemies, weird things can happen. So when I get off the ladder, I go to try and stab the dude in the back, and I get back on the ladder. And of course, when you get back on a ladder, you're not in a good place. So everybody knows where we are, it all kicks off, and I get hunted for the final sequence of the mission. And it makes it a little bit more exciting to watch, but it was completely avoidable. And as much as I would like to say it was my error, I just don't feel like it was. I didn't want to get back on the fucking ladder. It's 2016. Getting on ladders should be a choice. I don't understand why he got back on the ladder. All I wanted to do was, go forward and hit the dude. Didn't work that way. And then we dealt with the repercussions of it. But what I'm doing on this left-hand side of this little village is I'm dividing and conquering people, using footsteps to divert them, and then going behind them and hitting them with a shovel, which sounds very manly, and it is pretty manly, and it gets rid of them. I'm marking the people I'm not sure about, and I'm just getting rid of the immediate threats, and then I'm getting the objective and I'm getting out of there. Something you need to be aware of in this game, when you interact with things, you are not invincible and you can be knocked out of the animations. I learnt this on Lawrence of the Arabia. Lawrence of the Arabia? What the fuck am I saying? Lawrence of Arabia level, sorry. Because I went and dropped down a roof hatch on a train thinking I'd outsmarted the game, and then some dude shot me and I fell off. So it was a bit of an eye-opener. I wasn't best pleased, because to me, when you get to those objectives, it should just kind of cut. Everybody goes and has a tea break, but it's not how this game works. So now we have 2 dudes staring at the objective, and we have 1 dude who is patrolling. I got one of these people to see me. He's now going to come patrolling this way, and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to swing around and kill his buddy who is left. Because the one cool feature about their patrols is they're very thorough and they're very slow. So you have all the time in the world to kill his friend and then come up behind him and kill him. And that is exactly what we're going to do. So just make sure to be crouched or they'll hear you, and hit them with a shovel. Simple stuff. But the campaign of this game, I haven't seen too many reviews of it, but a lot of the compliments I've seen are complimenting it for being Battlefield rather than being Call of Duty. And admittedly, the last 2 Battlefield campaigns were very Call of Duty, weren't they? I do think this is its own thing, and I do think that it's strong in its own thing. I don't think it's strong for story, because I think the story is too short and too kind of overly cliche and generic for it to be anything too special, because, you know, the majority of the sequences, you don't get to really build true friendships with characters, you don't really get to fully understand character development, and a lot of the developments happen so quickly, they have no real effect on the player because you haven't had that slow burn of getting to know them enough to see the change and to see just how much of a drastic change it is. But the gameplay, aside from the tank stuff, which I thought was boring as sin and nearly fell asleep during, really, really good. I liked it a lot. I thought there was a nice diversity to a lot of things. It's just far too short. There is 5 levels, and I feel like there should have been 8. Even 10 maybe, but this is the... see that? Look at that. That was good, wasn't it? That was real good. Go forward, try and punch him. I'm on a ladder! And everybody knows I'm here, and then this goes nuts. So from this point onwards, you want to start killing dudes. Normally, if this game checkpointed at any kind of reliable rate, I would have just restarted, but it would have put me back on the last machine I unplugged, and I didn't want to do the walk, so I just kind of committed to it. Somebody has a very powerful gun there, by the way. He knocked me out of a lighthouse, for Christ's sake, and I'm alive, which just goes to show how flexible this difficulty is. If that was Battlefield Bad Company 1 or 2, you were dead then, because any kind of vehicle round hitting you and making you fall, it would have killed you, and it didn't, so... I'm on fire, I'm getting grenaded, and the enemy's pretty damn good at finding you, considering it's low light, and I'm trying to be really mobile, but all we're going to do now is push into the areas, do the objectives, and then get the hell out of here. And I did really like this mission when I first did it, but the second time, it just kind of lost its charm. I think it's because I really find the first level to be underwhelming. But the cool thing about the game is you can pick any of the stories. You don't have to start with number 1. You can start with number 5 if you want and get a really good experience, because number 5 has got trains and sand and horses and all kinds of weird stuff, rather than being in the middle of Emmerdale and having to steal bolts off of machines and run across these vast plains of mist or fog. I don't really know the difference. Maybe it's a mixture of both. I think mist is the one that clings to the land, and I think fog is the one that obscures the air. So I think that's the difference. But I'm going to do a massive sweep back around towards the final objective, and then onwards towards the tank that we left. But the enemies here are straight up just crazy. I don't know how they saw me. They must be clairvoyant or something. But do you see how it's red like that? Pretty much means that whoever that is over there knows where I am. And to my right, there's 2 soldiers running towards me who can apparently see me. I tried to crouch to throw off the scent, but they're still shooting at me. So definitely not an effective strategy. So I put him down. This gun sounds relatively quiet too compared to a lot of them. I really like this gun. Please don't be level 50 to unlock it. I don't want to get to level 50 to get the gun I really want. Then again, maybe I'll hate it in multiplayer. Have you ever done that, where you really liked a gun in single player, then you got to multiplayer and it was subtly different and you hated it because of it? Or it just wasn't powerful, so you kept trying to use it, but you just couldn't compete? I hate that. I also don't know what the time to kill on this game is, because the time to kill in Battlefield is usually longer than Call of Duty, but maybe this one isn't. I don't know. I'm normally a fan of, 1 to 3 bullet kills, but it has to complement the game. Some games just don't work well when it's structured that way. Some games really do. This was funny. Look at that. What are the chances, eh? What are the chances? But you don't have to contest him, just run away. All you need to do is get back to the tank, so... I'm about to get shelled by a whole bunch of explosives, which makes it a little bit more interesting to watch, but as long as you keep your zigzags and you don't become too predictable, you shouldn't get hit. It's very fair with this. I know certain games where these would have all been where you were about to get to rather than where you are. Like, for instance, there is a tank section later on. Not a tank section, sorry, a train section in the Lawrence of Arabia area. And you shoot the tank releases missiles exactly where you are, and if you don't move from where you shot it, you're just dead. It's one of those weird, super gamey moments of shoot, move, move back, shoot, move, and it feels really out of place. Because there's a massive war happening, yet everybody just decides to pick you. I find it strange. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.